Hey, Sister Petra did a really good post about lies that preachers preach. All right. And the first lie that she named was basically how some preachers try to teach that you sin because you choose to, and that you have full control over that after you're saved. Over your choices, and that you could choose not to sin after you're saved. Look, um, I'm here in James, okay, and in James chapter 3, it talks about the tongue, okay, and how dangerous the tongue can be. And then in verse 8 in chapter 3, it says, "But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison." So the Bible says that we cannot tame our tongues. It's not possible for us to tame our tongues. And yes, sometimes we could say something that's nice, right? But other times, right, out of the same mouth proceeded blessing and cursings, okay? And yeah, it ought to be, but the problem is that you can't tame your tongue, and you have a sin nature, okay? And your flesh is at enmity with God. Now, because your flesh is at enmity with God, there's a lot of times when you sin because look, these pastors, they act like every time you sin, it's totally premeditated. Not all the time. I mean, if some guy cut you off in traffic and you curse him out and flip him off and you're screaming at the top of your lungs like you just exploded. That's not you premeditating anything. So, if you lose your temper, that's not premeditated. That's just, your sin nature, okay? But you didn't make a conscious decision to, just have some outburst of anger. But anyways, a lot of and look, a lot of times you hear a preacher preach something, and it's false, but if you believe what he says, it puts you in this position where you think that the preacher or the pastor, that he just has like more holiness than you. Okay? Because if some preacher is going around saying that, that you could always choose not to sin, well, if you believe him, you realize that, you struggle with some sins, but then, if you believe him, you're going to think that, he has this Christian life figured out better than you do. And no, he doesn't. Okay. And so anyways, just, I encourage you to check out Petra's post. It was really good. And she gave a lot of Bible verses, but I just wanted to give you this one example here of the tongue. Where the Bible says flat out that no man can tame. Okay? But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil full of deadly poison. But, here comes the preacher saying that, well, you could choose not to sin. Well, that's BS according to this verse, okay? The tongue is an unruly evil. You cannot rule it. Okay? And you can't, nor can you tame it. So that's just one example. Anyways, check out Petra's post. It was really good. Take care.